Hi, it's Doug from Rise Above Performance Training. I had a couple sandbags that were leaking sand, so I figured it might be a good time to do a video on how to construct a sandbag. Sandbags are great conditioning tools. They're not relatively heavy, but you can do them for a bunch of things. I throw them in my circuit a lot, especially for MMA guys. Good awkward weight to throw around, do burpees with, shouldering, even carries. And the nice thing is they're relatively inexpensive to construct. So I'm going to kind of show you what I do and where you can get the supplies. So the first thing is, as you can see, this bag here has been ripped and it's leaking sand. So I don't generally dump all the sand out unless the bag's completely trashed. I have this inner layer here that's still okay. What I'm going to do is throw an initial liner. So just go to a hardware store and grab some compactor bags. They're not the strongest thing in the world, but they are better than regular garbage bags. They're a little bit thicker, so they tend to be a good liner for the initial bag. So, pretty simple. I'm just going to open this up here. The black one's busted on the outside, so I'm just going to dump this out, the inner one in here, dump it out, and shake it off in there. There is a little bit of a hole in there, but it should be okay. So I'm going to get it to the bottom, just kind of shake it out. I might also add one of these bags in here because I had 3 separate bags for my 60 pound bag, so I'm just going to dump one more in here. These are pretty good, I checked them out, and I'll just throw it in there. And I like to shake it on the bottom, and then I'm going to fold this over the top a little bit. Try to get as much air out as you can. And that'll help keep it a little bit more compact. So I got my initial liner sand into the compactor bag. Now what I like to do is, like I said, I folded it down, got the air out. I'm going to run a little bit of duct tape just to seal it off a little bit. Now duct tape can get expensive, so I don't recommend, it's not necessary to duct tape the whole thing. You can if you want to, but then obviously you're going to run out of duct tape and increase the cost. So all I'm doing is kind of just closing the lip a little bit so it won't break down here. So this should be good for this one. I don't need to do much more because I'm going to add one more liner. Now as you can see with this other one, this is my 50 pound sandbag. I duct taped the heck out of it, just kind of trial and error to see if it'll work. It actually split at the top because it's so tight here, kind of popped out the top, so I just duct taped the top again. And I'll probably do add a liner to this bag when I'm going to do this one. So the last liner I like are these actual sandbag liners. These are really inexpensive. I got them at Orchard Supply Hardware for like 69 cents each. These are a little bit more durable than the compactor bags. When they fall on the ground, you toss them, they're not going to split. So after I have my base layer foundation compactor bag, either 1 or 2, I'm going to throw them into one of these sacks here. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but I'll pop it over the top. Flip it over, just kind of give it a pull. Oops, tight there. Just gonna slowly start shaking it on. And there. So this should be a pretty good sandbag. You can kind of shape it a little bit how you want it. Then you'll get it ready for your bag. So after I got it inside of my sandbag here, I'm going to get the air out, kind of shape it a little bit. I'm going to grab the top a lot. I'm going to seal it with a zip tie. So again, these aren't super expensive. You can tape it, but it's probably not going to last. So I got all the air out, got it packed. I'm just going to spin it around a little bit. I'm going to pop a zip tie on here. probably only need one. So you get down here, cinch it down. I got my cutters here, just to clip off the nub, so just in case you don't scratch yourself. I mean, if you're really anal, you can file these down, but once they go in the bag, they're not gonna bother anybody. So this is one sandbag here. Now, you're gonna get a shell for it. Now, I got the Rogue shell. I've tried a bunch of different ones. These work pretty well. They have handles too, and they have handles on the outside. They have a really strong zipper and also snaps after. So they do pretty well, and they're easy to clean too. So when I always wash them out with a little bit of soap and water too, so as they start to smell. You don't need a Rogue one. I don't know how much these cost. They're going to be a little bit pricier. You can go to a Army surplus store and get a canvas bag, but I would recommend a canvas type bag, especially if it's going to take abuse for throwing and carrying and things like that. So pretty simple. I'm just going to pop it in here, slide it in, just try to get it as far as I can. And I have one here. So the last bag, I'll make one more here out of the same thing I did. Probably maybe take the top off, throw in another compactor bag, put one of these heavy duty sandbags in there, zip tie it off, dump it in there, and then my sandbag's ready to go. I like to write the weight on the side. So again, like I said, this one's 70 pounds actually, not the 60 pounder. And that way people can identify them pretty quickly. So there you go. Give it a shot, make your own sandbag, and take your conditioning to a different level.